It's 8 p.m. in Banjul from our studios on MDI Road in Kanifing. This is GRTS News in the headlines. The Vice President, Dr. Aliou Badara Diouf, continues on his familiarization tour to institutions under his purview. Baba Hydra, the son of the late Dida Hydra, testifies in the ongoing criminal trial of Bailo in Germany. Bloombank Africa, Gambia Limited, launches digital web and mobile banking platform to its customers. Away from home, the remains of independence hero Patrice Lumumba return to DR Congo. China-Africa Peace Summit reaffirms commitment to tackling terrorism, human trafficking and cybersecurity. Well, these and much more coming on in the news with me, Modinjai. The Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia continues on his familiarization tour to institutions under his purview. Dr. Aliou Badara Diouf on Wednesday visited the offices of the National Disaster Management Agency (NDMA) and the Food Safety and Quality Authority. He renewed his office's commitment in mobilizing funds to support the institutions in realizing their set goals. Fatou Janembai reports.
Of the Vice President's tour of institutions under his purview, and the aim is to gather first-hand information on the state of their affairs in the fulfillment of their mandates. The first port of call was the National Disaster Management Agency. Here, Vice President Diouf's engagement with the management revealed that the agency is working hard to fulfill its mandate of preventing and responding to disasters. But lack of an office space, limited equipment and resources remain the obvious challenges.
M&E component should inform your policy and programs in terms of both, the head-on addressing, tackling disasters, but also the preventive aspect of post-disaster, what do we do? Pre-disaster, what do we do? And during disaster, what do we do? These three phases, your policies and programs should address them. Then in that place, you make an impact, in terms of that issue.
On how to help move the institution forward to better serve the citizenry, Vice President Diouf advised the National Disaster Management Agency to be more preventive in tackling disasters.
The headlines are one, in terms of NDMA, they should be more preventive than curative in terms of addressing these things, because it's been over a period of few years. They know the disaster-prone areas and the period times when these things occur. So it is important that they put in, strategies that would prevent it, rather than allow it to occur and always keep repeating the same panacea to those kinds of challenges.
Boubacar Fofana is the program officer at the National Disaster Management Agency.
Activities from partners funding, but as far as the government is concerned, we do not have funds from them to be able to implement disaster risk reduction activities. So we need at least warehouses. Inadequate operational people, I don't need to buttress on that, I have said this, so we would want to have people for operation.
From the National Disaster Management Agency, the Food Safety and Quality Authority's office was the next stop. It is the national regulatory body tasked with the responsibility of ensuring that the food consumed in the country is safe and of good quality for the well-being of Gambians and those resident in the country. Among the challenges of the authorities, the lack of a policy document to do their work, lack of collaboration with public health officers at the Ministry of Health, and the lack of an office space was also highlighted by the officials.
Long and short of it is, it boils down to resources, because they need the resources to get the right personnel. They need the resources to be able to implement their programs. They need the resources to be able to get the right equipment that would minister to the effective and efficient implementation of their mandate. So it comes down to resources. And we have suggested that they have bankable documents, well costed, well signposted, realistic, implementable, affordable, measurable. And with that, we will go along with them in terms of marketing those documents to be able to find the resources, both in cash and in kind, that would help them execute their mandate relative to their terms of office.
The Vice President's familiarization tour to institutions under his office continues. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Fatu Janimbai.
One of the plaintiffs in the trial of a former member of ex-President Jammeh's hit squad testified in court in Germany. Baba Hydra, the son of the late Dida Hydra, who was allegedly murdered by the junglers, testified on Tuesday at the trial involving the accused person by law at the Celle Regional Supreme Court in Germany. Alajimbai reports from Germany.
The trial of a former member of the junglers continues in Celle, Germany, as more witnesses testify. The latest witness to appear in court is Baba Hydra, son of the murdered journalist Dida Hydra. In a lengthy and cross-cutting testimony, Baba discussed the history and content of the Point newspaper where his father worked, as well as his dedication to press freedom, democracy, and good governance. Baba explained that his late father had two columns in the newspaper called Good Morning, Mr. President, and The Bite, where he wrote on issues of national concern and socio-economic development. This, according to Baba, never went down well with the former president, as he received several threats from the corridors of power. The witness also discussed the killing of his father, his family's reaction to the news of the murder, and the subsequent difficulties endured by his family, including financial and educational challenges. He also detailed the psychological trauma as well as security threats faced by the family after the killing of his father, saying the only sources of income were RSF and AFP. He disclosed that no formal or impartial investigation was launched on the assassination of his father by government. However, the International Journalist Network, Reporters Without Borders, were carrying out some investigations and putting pressure on government to investigate the matter. This subsequently led to what he described as a misleading, baseless, and partial report released by government bent on tarnishing Dida's reputation. The witness also discussed his understanding of the patrol team, the assassination of his dad, Dauda Nyasi, and the attack on Usman Silla. He, however, stressed that he never wanted to discuss the issue with anyone since the murder of his father because it disturbs him, and that everything he knows about the work of the junglers and the murder of his dad came during his time with Gambia's Victims Center. The presiding judges also asked clarification on whether Aida Jany and Aissatou Jany refer to the same person who was in the car during Dida's assassination, and the witness said he knows only Aida Jany and not Aissatou. The plaintiff's lawyer, Dr. Patrick Croker, asked about the issue of the junglers who returned from Equatorial Guinea, and the witness explained that they were arrested, charged in court, and later discharged. The witness also explained the threats faced by Pap Sen at the Point as government wanted to shut the paper. The witness urged the government of the Gambia to ensure the implementation of the TRRC recommendations, saying accepting them alone is far from enough. He, however, reiterated his commitment to fight for justice for his late father, as well as other victims of ex-President Jammeh and his hit squad. He called for the swift prosecution of perpetrators, saying justice delayed is justice denied. Law is accused of crimes against humanity, murder, and attempted murder, including helping to stop Hydra's car and driving one of the killers in his own vehicle. The father of four, late Dida Hydra, also worked as a Gambia correspondent for Reporters Without Borders and was considered as a doyen among journalists in the West African state. The court, presided by a panel of 5 judges, is adjourned to Thursday, 30th June 2022. Alajim Bai, GRTS News, reporting from Celle, Germany.
Meanwhile, journalists and leaders from around the world converge at the German international TV Deutsche Welle to discuss global issues and better ways to shape the future of journalism. After 2 years, professionals have converged in Bonn, Germany at the World Conference Center for a similar gathering on Shaping Tomorrow Now. Fatih Kamoloshi reports live from Bonn in Germany.
2 years, the Global Media Forum is back. The program brings together hundreds of journalists in an interdisciplinary approach to tackle current issues shaping the way journalists do their work in a changing world. This year's theme on Shaping Tomorrow Now comes at a time the world is going through a polycrisis, from the COVID-19 pandemic, wars and conflict, to imminent issues overlooked in the coverage of Africa. Experts in media, science and related disciplines share perspectives on journalism in war times, the difference between activism and journalism, climate change, to stories relevant to local realities.
We're seeing interest fall off in conflicts around the world, DRC. We're seeing conflicts underreported. And certainly for my country, I won't speak for others, public interest helps drive policy.
Participating journalists shared insights on the engagements and the importance of partaking in such a conference after 2 years of being apart.
There was a lady who was speaking earlier in one of the sessions about how do you create that split? You are a citizen of a nation that is currently experiencing something very hurtful, very traumatic. How do you then separate and put yourself outside of the story when you actually are the story? It is your mother, it is your grandmother, your father, your cousins in a nearby town are being shelled and attacked, and all of these terrible things that we are reading about. So it's really good to position journalists as humans as well. I think that has been one of the great aspects that I'm enjoying, and I hope to learn and hear more.
Most of these journalists come from countries affected by many issues dominating news coverage. It still does not solve the inequalities they face. This breeds the question of how news is covered and who is covering.
How to draw a line between journalism and activism. So that was an interesting topic, and over there we learned how we can keep ourselves within the lines of journalism and still make a change and still play a part in shaping tomorrow now.
We handle all the issues regardless of geography and regardless of gender or race equally. There is no difference between the people who suffer in Africa, the people who suffer in Palestine, and the people who suffer in Ukraine, because in the end, humanity must unite us all for justice against oppression.
However, there are key takeaways that resonate with those at the front lines. One thing that speakers addressed is for editors to check on the well-being of their reporters, that despite the efforts of journalists to bring forth stories that matter, even when that means risking their lives and comfort, they are first humans with emotions and families. Well, one key takeaway from the Global Media Forum is that journalists are key in cementing the fabric of society. One thing, however, that cannot be negotiable is telling the fact, because the truth must be told at all times in the interests of the public. Reporting from Bonn, Germany, Fatih Kamoloshi.
Fatih Kamoloshi there. Moving on. His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Mr. Adama Barrow, in his drive to reclaim Banjul City to its former glory, has invested millions of dollars to rehabilitate roads, sewage and the drainage system. The rehabilitation project has greatly reduced flooding and facelift Banjul in terms of access and cleanliness. In light of this development, and as the rains begin, the National People's Party, NPP, under the visionary leadership of the Secretary General and party leader, His Excellency President Adama Barrow, organizes a cleansing exercise dubbed Set Settled, called Operation Clean Banjul, this Saturday, 25th June 2022. Accordingly, all NPP party executive members, militants, supporters and sympathizers are hereby urged to come out in their thousands and join His Excellency the President in this worthwhile venture of Operation Clean Banjul. The event will start at 10 a.m. from the Albert Market to Ports, Hagan Street, Half Die, Quadrangle, Arch 22, through Allen Streets and other places. All are encouraged to address in NPP regalia, T-shirts for the event. The release concludes. 8 in police net for using waste tires to smoke a local spice meat called cow kanda. The accused persons were arrested in an early morning raid last Tuesday while on the act at a deserted place behind the slaughterhouse in Abuko. The operation was jointly conducted by officials of the Food Safety and Quality Authority and the police, who were acting on a tip-off from a concerned customer. They were later taken to a nearby police post for further action. Well, now joining us live in the studio is the Director General of Food Safety and Quality Authority, Momodu Ba. Mr. Ba, welcome to GRTS.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
Now, to start with, how were these people arrested and what is their fate as we speak?
Like you said, it was information that we received regarding the use of tires, that is burnt waste tires, actually, that were used to prepare or burn or smoke the hides of cattle, which we commonly call cow kanda. And when we received the information, so we wanted to find them on the act, and we were cautious, and
you need to catch them red-handed.
Eventually, yes,
exactly.
We wanted to catch them with the physical evidence,
exactly.
And we ended up doing just that, because we waited until the time that they were doing it, and then we mounted the operation supported by the Gambia Police Force, and we found them on the act, and they were arrested, comprehended, and they are in custody, and we'll prosecute them accordingly.
Good. Now, how dangerous is the use of tires in smoking food meant for consumption?
Well, there are two ways to it. One is the user. Actually, those that are doing it, is very hazardous to them, because it causes pulmonary malfunction, which is the malfunction of the lungs. Also, it has got a lot of PAH, which is polyacrylic aromatic hydrocarbons. These are organic chemicals that are actually toxic to the human being, and also benzothiazoles, which in the form of benzopyrenes, which can be carcinogenic and can cause cancer to people that are either using or inhaling the smoke or ingesting these chemicals from the hides themselves.
Good. Now, following reports of food vendors using harmful substances to preserve their commodity, what is FSQA doing to ensure that these harmful practices is stopped and people eat healthy and quality foods?
I think we need a lot of sensitization, a lot of awareness creation, because we know that this is usually a common practice in Nigeria. And for even if you look at the people that were involved, most of them were non-Gambians. There are only 2 Gambians. The rest were non-Gambians. And as a result, they can bring those malpractices into the country, assuming that it's an accepted practice. But I don't think it is in line. I know that it is not in line with our standards of food safety. So therefore, it violates our act, and we should act accordingly. But then there is a lot of sensitization, and of course, I think punitive action can also deter people using it. But also the consumers need to be also informed accordingly with science, and that is hard science, and that is not something that is fictitious, but based on evidence, which is scientific evidence.
Good. Now, we've seen different reports coming up. We've seen the issue of the smoked fish, and now we hearing about the cow kanda. Is it a cause for concern for your unit, especially for people who use these things on a daily basis also?
Well, actually, it's a cause of concern, because the risk factors that are involved, like I said, we need to get to the bottom of this scientifically, with hard evidence, to be able to really do the appropriate risk communication to the consumers and to the public.
Exactly. Now, how far is the report of Sniper since FSQA start investigation on its use in preserving smoked fish and other related foods?
Well, an investigation was conducted, and in addition to the investigation, we were able to collect some samples of fish, that is both smoked fish and dried fish, because we assume that that's where it was alleged to be used. And we are not only testing whether it is present in it, but we are also testing the levels, which is a quantitative analysis to look at the levels, because certain levels can be so toxic, and then the lesser the levels, the less toxic it is. So as a result, we are awaiting the results from Dakar anytime. So once they are available, we will do a joint communique, because we had a multi-sectoral stakeholder approach in this. We were working with the NEA, the Public Health, Fisheries, and the Codex Committee.
Good.
And NANA.
Okay. Now, what call do you have for the public to ensure that concerted effort is made to report anyone using harmful substances on food products in general?
Over the past 2 years, we have moved significantly from just inspection-based, but we are also receiving complaints management-based, whereby we created a toll-free line, anytime, 24/7, anywhere, any network, you can call us, and we can receive your complaints, and you can give us information, and we can act faster.
Exactly.
In addition to that, we have also decentralized. We are really moving into the country, because our mandate covers the entire country.
Exactly.
So we have really moved outside, and we are establishing offices. Just this year, we have established successfully 2 offices in the first 6 months, and we are also intending to extend these offices and our presence in the upcountry.
Good. Thank you very much, Director General of Food Safety and Quality Authority, Mr. Mumuduba, talking to us live on the news on the use of harmful substances in the preservation of fish. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Moving on. Bloom Bank Africa, Gambia Limited, launches a digital web and mobile banking platform to its customers. The launch, held earlier today at the bank's head office along Kerava Avenue, is meant to ease access to financial services to its customers. Ibrahim Jallo reports.
Bloom Bank Africa Gambia Limited goes digital. The bank introduces a digital web and mobile banking services to make life easier for customers. The Managing Director Alfred Amoa and Gabriel Edgal, a board member of the bank, said the move is meant to improve access to finance and other banking services for customers anywhere within and outside the Gambia.
Bloom Digital Banking is designed to empower customers to manage their finances at their own time, giving them the option to take their bank with them wherever and whenever, on their phones, tablets, or computers. The Bloom Digital Banking has something for everyone. The SME looking to receive cashless payments or set up automatic payments to suppliers. The corporate institution looking to transfer funds with just a click of a button. The student looking to send phone credits to that special someone. The customer looking to buy cash power in the middle of the night. Or those looking to send a token of love to relatives in the provinces, and so much more.
For us, one of the critical things is that we want to democratize banking. We want banking to reach every single nook and cranny of the country. And we feel that the most potent and effective way to do it is to launch digital banking. You will be surprised. Everyone, the telephone density in the Gambia has increased significantly. So everyone has access to the phone. If you have access to the phone, it means you have access to banking services. So you will not be denied of banking services. Whatever we have to do to even provide the knowledge for those who are in those locations, we will do it.
The second Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of the Gambia, Dr. Paul Mendy, applauded the management of Bloom Bank for introducing the platform, saying it is in line with the objectives of the Central Bank in promoting inclusive financial services and digital economy.
More so in the delivery of inclusive finance to all sectors of society. Evidence has shown that the pandemic resulted in long queues outside banking institutions as customers were subjected to long waiting times to be served. The ongoing digitalization, therefore, is for the delivery of channels that will transform banking and hopefully eliminate such queues. The Central Bank of the Gambia has adopted a digitalization agenda as part of its contribution to the broader economic transformation agenda of this country.
With this digital platform, customers can check their account balance, buy airtime, and pay utility bills without going to the bank. Ibrahima Jallo, GRTS News.
Global Properties on Thursday unveiled its 11-story building complex in Kotu. The complex, worth over $2 million, will be ready for operation in December 2022. Janke Ture witnessed the ceremony at their main office along the Kerava Avenue and now tells us more.
Global Properties is a housing estate agency incorporated in the Gambia in August 2007. 15 years on, the agency owns its own complex, an 11-story building, which will serve as the agency's head office in Kotu. This message was unveiled by officials of the agency. Officials of Global Properties Housing Agency have described this ceremony as a gigantic milestone achievement. Saul Fraser, the founder and CEO of the company, cited the significance of this achievement, noting that having their own complex will further give a positive marketing advantage to the business and its growing customers.
This will be the tallest building in the history of Gambia so far. This is a dream, obviously, and it has come true for us. Finally becoming a landlord after 15 years of being a tenant. Our patience, hard work, and determination has finally paid off. Our belief is that anything is possible in this world, and therefore we continue to dream big.
As a household name in the country and beyond, the complex, he added, will serve the needs of its respected and prioritized customers.
When I established this company 15 years ago, my objectives were driven by the need to enlarge the service sector within the real estate field. People needed services that will help them acquire properties for either ownership or rental. And as years went on, we added various services addressing major demands of the real estate sector in Africa. All these while, we remained under the condition of renting our own premises. But as a top company in the sector, having our own commercial development was important to ensure we strategically position ourselves in the market.
The ceremony was graced by officials of the agency, including senior staff such as Nyilan Fai, who works as a business development and public relations manager of the agency.
Let's start off with the highlights of Greenville. It's our newest baby, and we're super excited about it. The first NEA certified project in the Gambia in compliance with the green environment and being able to plant trees. We partnered with the Ession, where we're planting more than 1,000 trees, starting with officially on Saturday, where we're planting trees with the entire team at the Greenville site. Now, Greenville is an opportunity where you can buy plots of land or a house right at the site. So with site and services provided, the infrastructure is already there. There's roads, there's water, there's electricity. So you can literally buy now and build tomorrow.
There will be head office of Global Properties Housing Agency, worth over $2 million, according to officials, will be opened in December this year, where additional spaces will also be opened for rental services. Janke Ture, GRTS News.
The Women Journalists Association of the Gambia on Wednesday organized a day-long capacity-building training for its members on the theme Empowering Women and Children through Ethical Reporting. The convergence brought together members from both the print and electronic media in a bid to enhance their understanding on issues relating to women and children. Baba Silla has the details.
Women and children issues remain a sensitive issue which requires censorship and ethical guidelines. The training, organized by Women Journalists Association in partnership with the Gambia Press Union, deems it necessary to enhance the capacity of the members in order to change the narrative through ethical and professional reporting. As educated, the Vice President of the Gambia Press Union gave a sounding remark emphasizing the importance of ethical reporting on issues relating to women and children.
We look at women in policy-making processes. We've mostly seen women as people that are always on the back seat, clapping for these political leaders. But is that actually what we want to report about women? No. But how much women are making? What change could women do when they are given that particular seat in question for them to also take part of development? So I think this training is quite very important, and which will also help you to look at the codes and ethics that actually governs you as far as you are reporting on these women and children issue. Whether what I am reporting is in line with what it's supposed to be, whether it's not supposed to be. So we have to take note of all of these things, and whenever we're doing, let it be done responsibly in a manner that we don't be questioned about the reports that we do.
The Executive Director, Network Against Gender-Based Violence, tasked participants to be serious with the training, as it will serve as a springboard in their crusade to ensure ethical and professional reporting.
Women and children issues are very, very important issues that we cannot do away if we must develop as a nation. We must.
Annette Kamara is the president of the Women Journalists Association.
The focus is not about the number of rapes we have on a daily basis. The focus is not about the number of child abuse that happens on a daily basis or the child labor that happens on a daily basis. The focus is women reporting on issues that affect women and being able to report on issues that affect children. For we are custodians of the child, and every child comes from a home, and most especially we women can tell our stories better than anybody can tell the story for us.
Kumbaba, a participant, shared her view with the state broadcaster on the significance of the training.
This is a very paramount training for the first time, and it comes the earlier we needed it the most, because we have seen women issues in the country underreported, and children as well. And most of the time, some of these 1 or 2 issues that will be reported will be done by our male folk. So we see it to be very important and necessary for the second executive of the Women Journalists of the Gambia to take up the challenge and give this requisite knowledge and skills how to go about responsibly reporting in women and children issues.
After the training, participants vowed to utilize the training to change the narrative when it comes to matters relating to women and children. Bawasila, GRTS.
Students from 3 senior secondary schools are benefiting from a week-long STEM training on ICT. The training teaches students how to build robots, coding, and home security systems. As Luimendi reports, the computers at the school lab are fitted with a device called Asanka, making it possible for students to access the syllables even in the absence of data.
St. Joseph Senior Secondary School is on the path of that great future it is working towards in the promotion of STEM education. The school has commissioned a state-of-the-art IT lab last year, and robotic experts from Ghana and now in the country to offer training for teachers and students of the school, plus dozen others from 3 senior secondary schools. Joshua Opoku is the lead trainer.
So they are small robots that use colors to help direct them. So if you look at our main road, we have speed limits, we have intersections, we have roundabouts, we have traffic lights. They're able to construct that road on a sheet of paper, and they use that instruction. So they can tell the robot to go speed limits, so they go slow. They can go fast because they're on highway. These are all learnings that are fun and interesting.
ICT is the future, and Gambians need it, said Mr. Opoku.
The only way to prepare the youths for Gambia is to make sure they have the right skills that they can help and use to solve Gambia's problems.
We have kids coming from 3 schools, that's St. Joseph, Gambia High, and St. Augustine. They are building robots, they are developing apps, they are doing so many things in here. These are children that, let me say, in the next 5 years, they can compete internationally with other kids in the Western world developing robots or developing apps for the Gambia.
The St. Joseph IT Lab model, the second of its kind in Africa, is achievable thanks to Sukai C, one of the alumni of the school.
I had friends who
our president is a president of Helping Africa Foundation, and they offered to help us build an ICT lab in Banjul. So they offered it to me, and I picked my alma mater, St. Joseph High School. We have 3 labs, 2 edu labs that have 54 computers, and also this lab that we are signing is the robotics lab. So we commissioned this last year, July, and we are back again doing the training because there's a device that is called the Asanka device. So I was able to convince them to incorporate the curriculum, the syllabus of the Gambia. So they have done that, and they're here to train the teachers, students, and I also extended the Ministry of Education curriculum department. I also extended invitation, so they're also here part of the training.
One beauty about this IT lab is that a small device called Asanka is planted in the computers. It has the Gambian education syllabus, making it possible for students to access videos, pass examination questions and exercises, even in the absence of data.
Asanka is a content that you don't need Wi-Fi, you don't need internet to use it, and also the fact that the syllabus is incorporated into it is phenomenal, because you don't have to worry about the kids carrying heavy books from kilometers to the school. Now they have it inside this Asanka that is just, they can use it too. Now they have the wall at their fingertips.
The Asanka device provides a perfect opportunity for examination class students in their quest for excellence in external examinations.
For example, like there's a program where you have all these past question papers. So you just go and you can train yourself. You answer questions by yourself, and it's automatic. When you answer, the answer is marked, and you have your score at the spot.
Mariama Toure, a student from the Gambia Senior Secondary School, is one of those benefiting from the training.
It is very, very interesting, and the experience is very exciting because it will give us a lot of opportunities. Like right now we see the world, the art is going further to technology, and it's developing us.
And as St. Joseph strives to consolidate its identity and to strengthen its educational quality, Sukaisi is optimistic that the results are not far-fetched, as the school alumni always have so much to give, and one of them is the IT lab, the Emoranza model.
Plenty to give, all of us here.
Louis Mendy, GRTS.
We will be back with international news right after the short break. Stay tuned.
No! There's a new update from your favorite GSM operator, AfriCell.
For all of you that have struggled to buy cash power beyond $7,000, AfriCell has done it again. The limit to buy cash power is now up to $30,000. Oh yes, $30,000.
Buy all the cash power you want from your AfriMoney account by dialing *777#.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
It's an amazing offer. AfriMoney just got way better. The threshold for cash in and cash out on your AfriMoney has been increased.
Where it used to be $10,000 per transaction, now it has been increased to $30,000. Meaning your AfriMoney account, you can now withdraw and deposit up to $30,000 at once.
Cashing in and out just got 3 times easier. For more info, call 777.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
Welcome back. I'm afraid international news will come at the 10 p.m. news bulletin instead. Over now to the wrap-up of this news, but before we take leave of you, a quick wrap-up of the news. The Vice President, Dr. Badara Diouf, continues on his familiarization tour to institutions under his purview. Baba Haidara, the son of the late Dida Haidara, has testified in the ongoing criminal trial of Bailo in Germany. Bloombank Africa Gambia Limited today launched digital web and mobile banking platform to its customers. Away from home, the remains of independence hero Patrice Lumumba returned to DR Congo. China-Africa Peace Summit has reaffirmed commitment to tackling terrorism, human trafficking and cybersecurity. Well, that does it for this edition of the news. Join me at 10 p.m. for another bulletin.